Okay, today we're gonna take apart my Zastava O-Pap M70 AK-47. The furniture just looks awful, but the gun is a lot of fun. And so we're gonna take her apart, refinish the furniture, and while we're at it, I'm also gonna redo the safety selector, turn it into a bolt catch release. So you can see there's no magazine in the gun. The chamber is empty. So let's see what we got here. We'll take the butt plate off first because it's just a piece of rubber. So just get the screwdriver here. Alright, there's the screws for the butt pad. There's the butt pad, put that to the side. We're going to take the machine cover off right here. Push this in. Push here. So we're going to pull the machine cover off. Machine cover's off. We're going to push this button in right here to release the following rod here and the spring, the coil. Pull the charging handle back all the way. I got the safety selector up. Pull the charging handle back. Take out the bolt, the gas piston. Put that to the side. So now here we are. Get the front piece off of the top of the handguard and the lower handguard. I'm going to flip this switch right here, which is really tight. I've used a hammer for this before. Very tight, as you can see. So that'll release the top piece of the gas tube right here. I don't know if I can do it by hand, but you turn that. We'll put this in a vise. We'll rotate that out. So now that I have the upper piece off, now we're going to have to do the bottom. So we'll take the cleaning rod off the gun. It's already loose. And that'll make it easier to take the bottom off. So now we have that there. We have the release mechanism. I'm going to push this right here, this pin, with my screwdriver. This pin comes up right here, so you can see. Rotate that forward all the way, and then this will drop right out after I slide that forward. It's a little tight still. Okay, lower handguard is out, so we'll put that to the side. Then on the buttstock, since this is an O-Pap, there's no trunnion here. With screws, we have a bolt in the stock. So what you're going to do is you're going to take using a 1/2-inch socket, you're going to put her in there, and we're just going to loosen her up. It might be metric, but 1/2 inch seems to work, so I'm assuming it's an American bolt. I might be wrong. It's not too many turns. This thing will slowly come out, not hitting the workbench. And she's almost free. There's our bolt, nice and long. Put that to the side, put the wrench down, and we'll just wiggle the stock out. Bam. Stock is out. See, the wood's not bad. It's still smooth, just the finish is gone, so we're going to really deck this out. Okay, I have the upper handguard locked in the vise now, so now I'm going to turn this thing 180 degrees, and it'll pull out of the gas block. And that's it. Just squeeze the trunnion here, or the holder, and this thing will pop right out, and we are ready to start finishing. Okay, we're about to strip the furniture in acetone just to get that finish off here. It's a little janky. So what we're going to do is put the stock in first. I really want to preserve the serial number off the stock. Luckily for me, that's deep etched. Some of you are going to make fun of the gloves, but I don't want chemicals on my hands day in and day out. So you can already see a second I'm pouring. A little bit of finish is coming off. Wipe it down with the rag. Work it in there. You see it's coming off on the rag already. It's a quality finish. It's all in the prep work. The devil's in the details, as they say. What I'm planning on doing here is I'm gonna give this a full acetone bath, get all the impurities off, get the finish off. Always wear your safety goggles. Keep this stuff out of your eyes. Protect your hands because this stuff will ruin your skin over time. So what I'm doing here is I'm just rubbing it in with this rag, getting that finish off because there's not much there. And after this, I'm going to let her dry. I'm going to come back with some bleach and some water, and we're going to get some of the staining out of the wood. About 3/4 water, 1/4 bleach mix. That should really get the wood to pop, so to speak. And then after that, we will condition the wood with some wood conditioner. Let that dry for a couple hours. And I think we're going to lie about 4 or 5 coats on here of a nice cherry, because I think any wood stock deserves a nice cherry finish. So the stock is done now. So the finish has been removed. So I'm going to put that to the side, let it dry. Let's get the handguard here. So that's going to clean up real nice. The problem with this is, as I said, we're going to come back with various colors of wood. You know, some of these weren't from the same trees. They were just sort of shellacked and sent on their way. I plan on making this very nice. I think if you're going to own it, it's a point of pride. As I said, devil's in the details. So the finish is now off this. Let's move on to the lower handguard. Alright, the lower handguard here, it's got a lot of grease and oil in there. This is just a good bit. The acetone really breaks up the grease and the oil. So as you can see, the wood's coming clean. All the oil buildup that's been here in the back of the handguard, with one wipe, it's gone. You can see it on the rag right there. Just one wipe and it cleaned it. So acetone is your friend. Just use gloves. You know, that's safety first. You know, people are going to rag on me for using safety gear. I don't really care. I'd rather have my eyes on my skin. So look at that piece that's already beginning to pop, and we've just barely wiped it. So once we get that bleach and water solution here, lighten this wood up, make it a little more consistent, and then we'll run, you know, the wood conditioner on, which will make the finish lay down more consistent, flatter. You won't have any dark spots and light spots. And as I said, back to the old thing, devil's in the detail. Now if you can see here, I have 2 little nicks, or I guess depressions in the wood. I'm not sure if I want to fill those in or not. I kind of like the character it's giving the wood. So this is going to be something for me to think about while this dries before I get to the finishing process. If I decide to fill it, I'm going to fill it in with some wood filler. Okay, here we are now. The acetone has had a chance to dry off the wood. So I got a solution here of 25% bleach and 75% water. And I'm just going to run it over the stock furniture here, just trying to lighten up the wood with the bleach. Just as the devil's in the details for prep work. We're just really going to make this wood real nice. I said some of the staining's coming out here, just going to lighten it up a little bit. I said just take your time, and then once all this is dried up, we can use the wood conditioner on it for pre-staining, and that should make it real sexy. So I'm just going to work on this stock here. Just really rub the bleach water and solution into it. Said that the wood will get lighter as I rub in certain areas. Right here, it's going to take that little stain out. Some of the stuff I kind of want to leave just for the character, like the serial number here, and some of the dents. But there's some other junk that just doesn't look right, so we're just going to prep her nicely. I'm using a microfiber cloth here. I'm wearing some proper gloves just because I don't want any bleach on my skin. When you're working with chemicals like this, it's better to be safe day in and day out like I do this stuff. Who knows what kind of harmful effects it'll have. So, got the stock done here. I'm going to work on the lower hand guard. This thing's got a little funk to it, so I'm really going to scrub here, get some of the stains out. They're lifting out as I press the microfiber cloth in. Just work it nicely. And just take your sweet time. If you have to do it twice. But this wood's turning out pretty good so far. I'm going to be happy with the results when I prep it for paint. Yeah, it's looking nice. Kind of proud of myself right now. So finally, I'll get to the upper handguard, which actually has a nicer tone to it, but I still want to get some of the stuff out. So, I'm going to give it a quick rub down. Once I let this soak in here, wipe it down and let this dry. A couple hours, it should be dry. I can always put it in the oven to dry the water out of it. And then after that, the next time you hear my voice, I'll be doing the pre-stain on the wood. Okay, I got done bleaching the wood here. The wood turned out much lighter. It seemed a little bit rough to me, so I pulled out some 220 here. Just give it a light sand here. Takes away, makes it pretty smooth. I'm going to take it up to about 400 grit. This whole thing I've sanded pretty well. You can tell the difference between these two pieces. The texture's changed. This is still a little rough. So I'm going to hit this one next, and then I'll wipe them all down, and I'll hit it with 400. And then once this is all done, I'll have a nice smooth piece of wood to stain, or at least pre-stain. And then I think I'm going to put about 5 or 6 coats on it. So right now this piece is really shaping up here, just with a quick blast of 220. And then we'll move up to 400, and this wood will be smooth as baby's butt. Alright. Okay, I just got done hitting this with 220 grit. It's really smooth. But just for the hell of it, when I'm in the sanding mood, I'm going to hit it again here with some 400. Stock, forend, everything. As I said, I keep repeating myself, but the devil really is in the detail. And this wood will just be that much nicer with a nice smooth sanded finish. And then when I pre-treat the wood for staining, it'll really soak that stuff up, give it a nice consistent grain, and then I will be ready to stain it. As I said, 5 or 6 coats of that nice cherry I got. In between each coat I'll be wiping it down with some steel wool. But this wood, I wish you could feel this. This is so smooth now. Sick. Alright. See when it comes back to pre-staining. Okay, we just finished with the 400 grit sandpaper, and as I said, the lower handguard here, sorry, the upper handguard here is basically smooth as a baby's butt. So I'm just going to take the air duster here, because I don't feel like going to the garage getting the air compressor. I'm going to blast off the sanding grit here, get that ready for prep. I'll put that down. I'll douse my rag here in mineral spirits. And I'll clean off all the excess sanding debris. And look at that wood pop already. It's super smooth, super nice. And this is going to be a sexy piece once I use the pre-stain on it. So look at that, we're just going to let that dry. There's the wood, completely cleaned after sanding. All the pieces, the stock, looks amazing. And the lower forend, I can go over it again just to clean her up twice. But look at that. That handguard looks amazing. Like I said, we haven't even begun to really prep it yet. This is just after sanding, and it looks that good. So, okay, we as you saw, we just finished with the sanding of the wood. The wood is super smooth now. We blew it off, dusted it. Now it's time to do the pre-stain conditioning of the wood. Just make it pop, make the stain apply a little more evenly. So what I got here is some pre-stain conditioner. I'm just going to dip the rag in it. I'm just going to run it over the wood. Just really get it into that grain. So you can see it's looking pretty good already. I'm going to let this dry for about 5 to 15 minutes. Then I'll wipe off any excess residue that the wood didn't absorb. As I said, it's already just making the wood more even. That's what the real purpose of this stuff is. And just makes the wood nice. We got about 2 hours time to work with this to apply stain. Otherwise, we've basically wasted our time. So I'm just gonna run this on her. I'm maybe gonna run some on the inside too. Why not? But that's there, nice. So really condition her up. Look at that. Looks nice already. Just gonna put that to the side. I'll work on the gas tube cover here. Same thing. So this wood doesn't quite seem to match. I don't know if it's from the same gun or just years of treatment, staining, abuse, I don't know. But I still like the way it turned out after the sanding and polishing. Yeah, that 400 grit really made that grain pop. As you can see here, if you get a close-up on that, that grain just looks real nice now. So we'll put that there, and then finally the stock. Get the stock covered real well. The stock's going to be, I put a lot of work into the stock to make that grain pop. So this should turn out nice. As I said, I haven't decided if I'm going to do 5 or 6 coats of stain yet. I picked a real nice cherry, so basically the wood really is going to tell me how many coats I need. In some cases it might be 3 or 4. But as I said, the wood will tell the story once the stain starts applying. So there we go. Just about done. Looks nice. Very consistent. So I'm going to hang this up. I'm going to go play some Xbox, and in about 15 minutes I'll come back and I'll wipe these off, and I'll probably wind up applying a first coat if I like the end result. So here we go. I'm going to hang her up, let it dry, and I'll be back soon. Look at that. Ooh, it looks sexy. Alright, it's been 15 minutes. Now I'm just going to wipe off any excess of the wood conditioner. Doesn't look like there's much here, but let's give her a good wipe down anyways. And put your part to the side. And we're going to get ready for stain in just a few minutes here. And this one's got a little extra residue on it though. So there we go, just cleaning her up. It's looking pretty nice. The pre-treater looks like it's evened out the grain, so that stain is going to apply more evenly, which will just make this furniture set look very, very nice. Back to what I've said time and time again, devil's in the details, and I think the devil's on my side here when we're done. Look at that wood, it's just popped on us here. It's going to be so nice. Okay, we're back. It's time to do a little bit of staining here. Try to find a good place to grab this piece. I dip my rag here in the stain. Get it nice and wet. Got gloves on because I don't want this on my skin. And we're just going to follow the grain again, just like we did before. Just really rub it in there nicely. It's gonna take a few coats to really work in there, but yeah, this is coat 1. And by the way, if you've been noticing the lights, I upgraded the lights here in the shop to a nice set of LED daylight spectrums. And I think it's making a world of difference in here already. Now, that's first coat on the lower handguard here. Looks pretty nice. Set that to the side there. We'll work on the upper gas tube cover. So I'm probably gonna wind up applying many thin coats, as I said, up to 6. This is about patience. As I said, I sound like a broken record, but the devil really is in the details for this. But the wood here is just soaking it up nicely. I'll let this dry for 8 hours, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do it again. So this may take a bit of time, and you're probably gonna be bored with my voice, but we'll edit it down, and this will be a nice fun project for the next few days. All right, last piece is gonna be that stock, and then I'm gonna let this dry. This will be the fun part, the stock, because we got a nice big piece of wood. Look at that, very nice. Just let it run out. Just wipe it evenly. Come back at the drips. That stock is really popping now. Look at that. You getting that, Dino?
Yeah.
That's nice, huh?
Yeah, it's real nice.
So just keep small, thin coats. That's what it's all about. And when we're done, we're going to sand it in between coats with 4/0 steel wool. That should really make this wood nice. So I'm really impressed with this first thin coat on it already. It's a nice quality product here. I'm not going to recommend any particular product. Everyone has their preferences. So, find yours. But I'm really liking the results here as I rub this stain into the wood. Get a little closer to the camera there for you. Look at that, baby. Okay, I'm going to hang this to dry for 8 hours. come back, I'm going to sand her down with that steel wool as I mentioned. And we're just going to keep coating it until it is completely ready. Wow, look at that pop. Very sexy. Okay, it's been 8 hours. The stain here has had a chance to dry and the wood looks good. But I want to add a few more coats, so I got to come back at it now and rough up the surface again. So I got some 4/0 steel wool. That's 4-0, which is the finest. I'm just going to rub the finish here a little bit. Just take that top coat off. Just give it a light sand with the steel wool. Just run it up and down. Just take that top layer of the finish off. Nothing too major, just a quick few passes. You can see the finish is a little roughed up now. I'm going to take that sheen off of it a little bit. And move on to the next piece. This is ready. It feels a little rough. This piece is nice and smooth. So I'm going to run this a little heavier because I laid it on a little thicker on here. So rub this with the steel wool nice. Okay, this piece is coming along nicely here. Got all that glossiness off. Just roughed it up nicely. It's ready for the next, for the second coat. And then after this coat will dry, we'll come back in about 8 hours and put another one on. And the stock was the piece, the largest piece here. When I laid on the finish pretty thick on that. And it looks like it's going to come nicely here too. Alright, now I'm ready to wipe it off. It should be ready for staining for the second coat. Perfect. Alright, here you are. Here's the finished product on my Zastava O-Pap AK-47. Looks pretty sexy. Here's 6 coats of stain. You saw the whole preparation. Thing shines like crazy. I almost don't want to shoot it anymore. It's just really, really nice.
It's an art piece.
Yeah, it's more art than gun now. But I think we're going to have some fun with it out at the range, and everyone's going to enjoy looking at this very, very sexy cherry-colored wood. So thanks for watching the video, guys. And I hope it gave you some tips on working on yours. All right, bye now.